Yeah, let's talk about the whole NBA situation with Kawhi Leonard. He has been removed over his objection from the U.S. Olympic team. John and I had debated a couple weeks back that I don't think he should have ever been allowed to go. This is a guy that has missed so many games over the course of his career with the LA Clippers, and yet he wanted to play. He took part in 4 practices. He showed up with a big sleeve and brace on his injured right knee. First full practice, he did everything they wanted. By the second practice, he was limping.
Oh, God.
Steve Kerr made the decision. He cannot do what we need to do when we get into international competition. They met with Grant Hill, who's the president of the Team USA. They then talked to the Clippers. I don't think the Clippers ever wanted him to go, and the decision was made to remove him. He openly admitted, I've done everything I can to get ready. He said, my knee when I came in was status quo, which meant he could play basketball. One practice in, he could not play basketball the way it was needed. I think it puts his whole career in jeopardy. He's gone through most of this offseason because he missed the playoffs, gone through this whole offseason rehabbing, and he comes up with more problems. I think his whole career is in real jeopardy. He has missed 223 games with the Clippers. He has played in only 187 over the course of his career.
He's missed half.
More than half.
Wow.
He's missed 223 of 410 games with the Clippers. So I think he's in big jeopardy. I think his career might be starting on the downside, and it's not a negative towards him. It's just a wear and tear thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And it's a shame because we all love Kawhi here in San Diego. But you're right. I mean, he even had a lot of breakdowns when he was playing for the Spurs as well.
Oh, he had a bad knee injury. He had a quad surgery. Went to Toronto, did really well, broke down there. He's had 3 surgeries on the right knee alone.
Yeah, so the guy's just injury prone.
Yeah, so that's where we are there. Second topic on the table has to do with the New York Knicks. We always talk about players and contracts and who's doing what and the max deals and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. His name is Jalen Brunson, high-scoring guard, New York Knicks. They got him in a trade a couple years ago. He's really developed into a superstar. He's a year out from his contract expiring. He is now eligible for a contract extension. If he waits till next year when he's a total free agent, he can get an even bigger max mega contract. He's going to take the offer now. Just follow me with this. He is going to take a 4-year, $156 million deal. Okay, so that's 40 plus million. If he sat here and waited till next year, he's going to get 5 years, 269. He's willing to take $113 million discount. Why? Well, he gets a contract now. He keeps the Knicks under the first and second apron with the salary cap, which if you go above the apron, you get paralyzed in how you can construct your roster, what you can pay, what you can't do. He's going to take $113 million less to keep the Knicks below the limit so he can just go on and have better players around him. That's kind of fascinating.
Yeah, it is. I mean, but for him, maybe it's just a bird in the hand because you were commenting in the best 15 about, who was the player was at Nevada, went to play for Miami. He ended up not taking the deal and lost money. Caleb Martin. Yeah. Where am I stealing your thunder here in the headlines? I see the Heat's on there.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Lakers situation. 0-3 in the California Classic, the Summer League. Now the whole roster is just headed into Las Vegas. They're going to start the Las Vegas Summer League. Bronny James last night went 2 for 9 first game, couldn't play second game, played 29 minutes last night, 1 basket. Do you know what they're saying, what the national writers are saying about Bronny James? He's a Make-A-Wish Foundation NBA kid, that he doesn't belong.
Yeah.
He was gifted this as a legacy draft pick. Well, I mean, 1 basket in 29 minutes. Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, he was getting cooked out there on defense. I thought he was almost breaking his ankles.
Dalton Connect had a good bounce-back game, 20 points, 9 rebounds, hit a couple of threes along the way. So now the Lakers, with a hodgepodge of a roster, are just showing up with Bronny James looking like he's really overwhelmed, like does not belong. I thought the Make-A-Wish Foundation nickname was kind of cruel.
Yeah, it was. But, to see Dalton connect, I mean, he was legit in that
Yep.
game. I mean, what were the stats again?
20 points, 9 rebounds.
That's all right.
He came back after 2 substandard games
Mhm.
shooting the ball. Miami, guess who's playing well for the Heat? Ex-Aztec, Keshad Johnson.
Right on.
Keshad Johnson, he went for 13-3 in his first game for Miami. Last night, 21 points and 8 rebounds. You talk about a guy that might fill a really special role in Miami, and a guy who's being taught by a pretty good coach in Eric Spoelstra, and obviously a great basketball mind in Pat Riley. Right situation for the kid, did not get drafted, and holy cow, he's had 2 really impressive games. And it's college players versus college players, it's rookie versus rookie. But man, you go for 13 and 21 in back-to-back starts. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I love that. Keshad's a great kid. I'm happy for his success.
We move on. Let's talk about Minnesota Timberwolves. Speaking of debuts, Friday, Jaedon LeDee makes his debut. Minnesota Timberwolves, they play their first game in the Las Vegas Summer League. Fascinating to see what happens when he lines up against the New Orleans Pelicans, playing for a good teacher and a good coach in Chris Finch. He's obviously going to come in and he's going to replace McDaniels, who was traded away in the offseason. He gets an opportunity. One other unique note, Memphis. I don't think anybody saw this coming with the Grizzlies. Zach Edey in his first game in their summer league, 14 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists.
Wow.
He was really impressive. And at the other end of the floor, where there was concern that he was more like a traffic pylon who could not move, he made a whole bunch of plays. I think he had 2 block shots. He changed everybody as they tried to get into the paint. They weren't getting any shots off in the paint. So that was, to me, that was a really impressive start for Zach Edey. One other note, and this just happened. Nathan Mensah has shown up in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
He was on a 1-year G League contract with Charlotte, played a little bit at the end of the season with the Hornets, was not offered, brought in by the San Antonio Spurs, went for 6 points, 3 rebounds, 2 blocks in, 10 or 12 minutes. That's new kid, right teaching situation with Greg Popovich. Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. I mean, all these Aztecs are finding jobs all around the league. This is terrific. I saw is it Carson Cook, who is the photographer for the Aztecs? I think he was at one of those games in Vegas, saw Nathan, wearing the Spurs jersey, got the photo of him, posted on Twitter. It's, Aztec Nation was loving that.
Kids getting an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see. Again, that's a unique organization and atmosphere to play and learn in. So those are the latest basketball topics. You agree or disagree? Is Kawhi Leonard about to journey into borrowed time? Do you think his career is now threatened? Join us on Fans Forum if you're an NBA basketball fan or you want to comment on what Jalen Brunson is evidently about to do with the New York Knicks. Give up $113 million so they can stay below the cap. We don't see that from hardly anybody else in the NBA. From Hoops.